We have to create somehow, with our boring bar system, we have to be able to reach around in different areas, okay? So if I'm going through a very small hole like I've created here with a bulbous shape, I need to reach around and undercut that shoulder. If I'm doing a tall, slender vessel, I need to be able to get down in the bottom of the vessel where there's a small neck. So we need to have a straight one, and I'm always going to start with a straight one when I'm going through a small hole to open up a area inside like a cylinder shape. Okay, so I'm going to have the swivel pointing straight forward, and I'm going to go into the hole, and we're going to just hollow out from the hole. There's my hole over. See, I can't move it very much because I have a small hole. I could swing my handle, but I don't need to. I'm just going to hollow out a little bit, and you can see the laser where I'm hollowing inside, how deep I am. Go across the bottom and up the side, and I'm just making a cylinder hole in there. And if we pretend we're getting down into a very long, tall vessel, I need to get into confined space. So I need to have a straight swivel holder to do that with. And I can do a little bit of bent cutter application with this because the swivel has an infinite range of moving it around. I can swivel it around here and get it in and out of the small hole still and cut under the shoulder. Where's my wood? There it is right here. All right. All right, so now I'm cutting out around into here, right? All right. Now, there's a certain point where I can swivel this around even more. You could even swivel it around and come right back at yourself if you want to, but so you have an infinite range of moving this, but there's a certain limit. I can only stick that out so far, and I can only hook to the left so much. So I'm going to stop a minute, and I'm going to put a different kind of cutter on here, and we'll show you the second capability is going to have a little bit of a bend in it to get up and undercut shoulders like this that are very steep. So you can see that this little swivel assembly shaft has a little bend in it. And your first thought was, oh, that little bend, that's no big deal. It's not going to help me much. But this is really amazing. If I'm using a shape like this and I want to get up and undercut the shoulder and get up into that most traditional rounded bulbous shapes, I'll be able to reach with that little bend of a swivel assembly and still maintain a very small mouth opening. I'm going to thread it in the hole and get around. I'm going to swing my handle over so that I can undercut a shoulder and get up under here. And now I can cut inside. And now we're cutting way over to the left. The swivel assembly is kicked over to the left, and the cutter is facing to the left a little bit. And look at the handle. What happens with the left hand cutting, there's tremendous torquing forces, okay? So now the D handle prevents that from torquing. It doesn't feel any different than the straight cutter when I'm making the cuts in there. Okay, so there's no torquing forces going on. All of it is absorbed by the captured system, okay? So you can get in here, cut some more of the waste wood out from behind. All right, so let's thread it out some more. Get it out without hitting the rim. Okay, now I'm going to swivel this around even further. And let's reset the laser again. So now we're going to be cutting up into this area up into here. So I want you to be able to see where the cutting is happening. On the inside, you're working blind without the laser. So now with the laser, we can see where we're at in there. So let's thread it back in the hole again. And now see where I'm in. I'm working way up in here. Okay, so now I got to get some of that waste wood out. Get up into here. See, now I'm down deep in there. And I've got room with the waste wood out of the way. The swivel assembly is working in there. All right. And now we get back to the same focus, or the same thought process, is that it's just a fiddle factor. I can swivel this around a little bit more, straighten it out, get the waste wood out some more, swivel it back again and undercut the shoulder some more. There's just fiddling with it. There's nothing that we can't reach. It's just a matter of time to take small little stages and work through it, okay? So now I'm going to show you a third option that you need to develop. The first option was a straight cutter. The second option was a little bend. Now I'm going to show you the big hook tool capabilities. What I've done is I've just drilled a 3/4 inch boring bar with a hole on a 45-degree angle in here, and taken the swivel assembly out of the other end and put it in this end so that we have a large reach over to the side. Now, this shape here mimics the old Stewart hook system and the John Jordan type tools. Okay, so we can thread it in the hole now and get way up underneath and undercut a shoulder, way up under, and starting to cut right now in the shape that was in there is already there. So now we can go up in there, we can cut up under the shoulder, and we can reach way around and keep just going deeper and deeper and thread it into the hole. Where I would need this big reach is in a different shaped vessel. I can do this with the little bend. Where I would need this is in a different shaped vessel. Let's visualize we're doing a shape that you would have the old shapes that Michael Peterson used to do, right? I can reach into that small hole and get up under and undercut a shoulder and get up way up under there to get where I need to get. So with those three reach configurations, you can reach anything you want. And so once we get around there a little bit, we're going to move the cutter over here so we can clean up tool marks and get up. So that means with those three capabilities, we can do any shape that we can imagine. There's no limitations. The boring bar systems can reach whatever you can design.